Welcome back to another episode of the I'm Not a Hater podcast, featuring your favorite not hater, Mr. BROWN, Mr. Brown. This is another issues episode for 11/24. Um, like I always say, like I always start off, I just want to say thanks to everybody that's been listening, subscribing, watching clips, liking, sharing, all those things, all those efforts that you guys been putting forth, man. I definitely appreciate it. Without you guys, none of this would be possible. I'd just be a guy with a microphone recording, talking to himself. So with you guys listening and, like I said, viewing and watching and leaving feedback and all those other things is greatly appreciated because it allows me to, get my focus right and know where to keep going or, what things to talk about. So with no further ado, let's get started. Got a story out of Waldorf, Maryland, Charles Kearney School District. A student was found hung in the bathroom, a second grader. The district and the school board cited it as horse playing. One of the students was African American. We haven't got the race of the fourth grade student who was also, horse playing in the bathroom with the other student. But one would lead me to believe that this was a racially motivated statement. Situation, I should say. Sorry about that. And with the district and the school board kind of just passing it off as horse playing, and no real punishment came forth. I can understand why the mom of the student, the second grade African American student that was injured, I could understand why she was upset, right? Because I had to think about it. I have a son that's in second grade, and if he was horse playing or hung in the bathroom, I would want immediate answers, right? I'm coming to the school, and I want to find out what's going to be done. What is this student that supposedly was playing around in the bathroom, what's going to be done with to that student, or is his family going to be charged with some kind of crime? Because that is a crime. That's a hate crime. And I think the mom was right to take it to social media, right? Because social media is a huge thing nowadays. I saw many people shared it. I even shared the story once I read it and was familiar with it. And I was like, man, sent my son to that school at one point. So what, that could have happened to him. It immediately put me in that place. And I immediately was like, I could understand why this mom and this family was upset. Because, you don't send your kids to school to be, horse played with in the bathroom. You send your kids to school to learn. And so with that, you had to get that call from the principal. Of course, yes, they sent a letter out saying, that the incident happened. But like I said, not much else has happened after that. And for them to dismiss it as horse playing, that's playing in these people's faces. And that's not cool. At the end of the day, they need to make this right in some way, shape, or form. I don't know how you make it right. I don't know if you, what you do to that student, if you expel them or what. I don't know at this point in time. But for me as a parent and as an educator, a stiffer penalty needs to be done to just pass it off as horse playing. And then, if that mom of that second grade student, decided to sue the school board and the family of that other student, I really couldn't be mad at her because y'all basically playing in her face, and y'all not letting her know what's going to happen. Y'all not letting her know what's going to be done to rectify the situation and make her even feel the least bit better. But I know this, my kid wouldn't be going back to that school because I just don't feel safe leaving him in that school's care. They're not paying attention to my student at all times, and I just can't have something like that happen a second time. It shouldn't even get to a second time, but anything could happen, and you don't want that. So at that point, you got to move on from that school, go somewhere else, and like I said, take action against the school board if necessary, because they're not really making anything they're not making you feel better that they're going to do something to actively stop these type of things from happening. They just dismissed it as horse playing and kind of kept it moving. And that's unfortunate, because if the student wasn't of color and it was of another race, then that's just allowing racial things to happen in schools, and that's not called for. I mean, you see these kind of things every day, but it shouldn't happen. And like I always say, like, your first teacher is at home. So where you learning these behaviors from, and these type of racial things that you see, you're learning them from your house. So you bring them to your school, you try to use them against people in your school, and then you get a situation like this, but then they dismiss it as horse playing, and that just doesn't, it just didn't sit well with me. Every time I read the story, I'm just like, this can't go on. And as somebody that works in behavior in a school, like, I would even push for something to happen to that student. I know they're young, and you're like, oh man, that's probably harsh, but they have to know, like, this isn't acceptable, and their family has to know, like, this isn't accepted. We can't have this happen in our school. And the school board needs to take a stand and make that student, responsible for their actions. And because if you don't make kids responsible for their actions now, you're gonna have a whole race of adults when they get older just not responsible for anything that they do, because they don't think that there's any punishment that could come down from it. And that's something that you have to stop, just being honest. And another issue, education wise, Donald Trump picked Linda McMahon of the WWE as his pick to dismantle the Department of Education. Now, she's going to be the Secretary of Education. And a lot of teachers are up in arms, like, what's her qualifications? She did serve on the school board. I think I saw, like, a couple times in 2009, and but she's also got a couple question marks. Like, she said she majored in education, but then they found out that wasn't true. She's been on some board of directors at some colleges, but that's probably mostly due to her money, her resources that she has, being the co-CEO of the WWE at the time. And it's just kind of like looking at it like, what is he doing? But like I've said before, this is probably just another, he's playing Celebrity Apprentice with America right now. And he's firing us and kind of, making us the scapegoats and saying that the education system needs to be broken down. Now, in some cases, I do agree, like, the educational system needs to be fixed. There's no reason that public school students are not on the same level or levels as these private school or charter school students. There's no reason that public school students shouldn't be able to read and write on grade level, and they continue to get passed through due to No Child Left Behind or whatever the case is. Like, I do feel like that's wrong. But where I see, some of these things going wrong, like, they're saying that they're going to give power back to the parents. Like, parents get to choose the schools. So if they don't like a certain school, they can just up and grab their kid and go to another school. And you just going to have kids hopping schools and never get a comfortable fit inside of a school. Like, that's never good for continuity and the child's mental state as well, because they're never going to get comfortable anywhere. Linda McMahon, to me, could have been anybody. He could have had The Rock or The Undertaker for all that matter. But, there's no real rhyme or reason. She doesn't really have any qualifications. But, hey, people voted for him. So this is what's happening now. You're starting to see all these dominoes fall into place of what he's really doing. And none of it is making any sense. And this pick right here just shows that, he's just doing whatever he can to, make things work for him. The public school is going to be at a loss if the dismantle does happen and it's turned over to the states. Like I said, the kids who don't have the resources are going to fall further and further behind, and those who have the resources are going to continue to flourish. And that's just the bottom line of it at the end of the day. You hope that, like I said, somewhere along the lines, these people, if they do turn it over to the states, have a heart and have, a conscience when it comes to the students, because again, they are the future, whether it be workforce, entrepreneurs, whatever the case is. These are going to be the kids that are doing it in the world at that point. And you hope that they provide them with the education and the tools necessary to do the things that they need to do in order to be successful. And taking away the money and dismantling everything is not going to help them be successful in the least bit. And that's just my thought about that. Wish Linda McMahon the best. Hopefully she can, like I said, come in with a clear conscience and kind of go against a little bit of what he's talking about. But you never know. You just have to wait and see with everything at this point. A little bit of world news, little issue that may be on the radar sooner than later, or you might even already know. Vladimir Putin of Russia is coming. Okay, he's like Darth Vader and all of them. He's coming. Ukraine is already feeling his wrath. Nobody knows who's next, but he dropping missiles, and that's Trump's homeboy. So who's gonna stop him? World War III could be at our doorstep. You just don't know. And we might get dragged into it, but this time on the side of Russia. I don't think we've ever been an ally. So that would be interesting. And it's like, man, when you look around at what's going on in the world, it's really, really, really like crazy times. I just hope that it doesn't get too crazy. Hope Putin keeps those missiles and everything pointed away from the U.S. and we can, kind of live our lives the way that we've been living them. But you just never know. If Trump crosses him in the wrong way, we might become a target. I'm just saying. You might not agree with that. You might say it's scare tactics, whatever you want to say. But reading up on it, man, Putin is all over the place. And like I said, there's no one there to stop him. I don't want to call him a modern day Hitler, but it's starting to feel that way. With his, with the tactics and the way that he's taking over things step by step, it's got a little Hitler type feel to it. Maybe some other world country will step up and get at him, but like I said, then that's going to turn into WW3, and nobody wants that. So we'll try to keep clear of that. But it is what it is. Coming up this week, gonna be talking about co-workers, work, managers, management, different things that pop off in your work setting. Gonna have a little bit of fun with that one. It's gonna be on YouTube and Spotify. Also gonna do a little fun, little comedy joint for Thanksgiving, little do's and don'ts. So tune in for that one too. We'll drop that one on Tuesday. So this is gonna be a 3-episode type week. And then take a little break for Thanksgiving, then come back for December, and then after that, chill out for a little bit, and then come back with some more, fresh episodes in 2025, and go from there. Lot more content and things coming as far as episodes and stuff like that. So just get prepared. Like I said, like I've always said and continue to say and will always say, I appreciate everybody that's been, watching, tuning in, listening, all that stuff, man. Is appreciated. And just, continue at the end of the day, man. And just keep it going, because I'm going to keep it going as long as I can. So with that said, peace and love. Enjoy your Sunday, and I'll see you guys again on Tuesday. Peace out.